Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the debut episode of The Perspective. From my left, I have Emi Akurada. He's a songwriter, an editor, a producer, a director. If we look at it from the days of the 90s.
I feel excited already.
Ima, welcome on the show.
Thank you, sir.
And if I go to my left, I have the celebrity of the house, a huge personality, an Instagram elite, he's a music producer, a rapper, an artist, he's a journalist, Adilani Ogunrade. Welcome to Perspective.
Thanks for having me. On the show.
Yeah. Today we're going to talk about everything buzzing in the Premier League, from how Chelsea almost lost Everton's not to have a trophy. Man City almost about to kill someone, because while we're recording this now, Man City is playing Leicester City, and it appears that Riyad Mahrez has scored. And we're going to talk about Arsenal. Seems like Arsenal has found the right missing piece. Adelade would give us more into what it is that Arsenal are doing right, that the likes of Chelsea and Manchester United are doing. And I will be talking about Manchester United and how it is very, very impossible or irrelevant to get a new jersey. So I'm just going to throw the first question for Adelania. Everton seems like they did a good transfer. They have the right manager. They have everything in place for them, and they are performing well against the odds.
Yes.
What do you think about?
Yes. Well, it's just incredible what a human being can achieve when you have the belief and the full backing of your coach behind you. Rather, what a footballer can achieve when they have the full backing of their coach. Definitely, we've seen that the signing of James Rodriguez has been an inspired one. The coach has worked with James Rodriguez at Real Madrid. You know, he's worked with him through like an extended period of time, and you can see that he has so much faith in him. He's definitely one of the game changers for Everton, and him coming in the team just seems to have given the team a bigger lift than Alex Iwobi managed to. But that's a story for another day. The midfield. Everton's midfield seems to be doing the business, and Calvin Lewin up front is as sharp as ever. They're definitely a team I see in the top 6 come the end of the season.
Do you think that they can make top 3 till December? Because it's looking like they have everything figured out. Because all I feel, they are just one injury away from coming back to ground zero or a match loss away.
I doubt it. It's a different Everton we're seeing. I can guarantee you of that. You know, their coach knows what he's doing.
True.
This is going to be his second full season, and I think we're going to see the best from Carlo Ancelotti. You know, he's going to do a real Italian job on so many teams. You know, in the Premier League this season. Everton is definitely a team I would be weary of.
And for you, Ima, they've got their businesses right. They got the right players. It's more like Ancelotti has the right backing from the club, from the sporting director to the acquisition to the scout management and everything. Does this just paint the fact that a lot of clubs that are currently suffering are looking at Everton as a particular role model for the 2020-21 season?
Thank you, John, for that. I remember when this guy was appointed, when Ancelotti was appointed as Everton coach, we had a conversation, and I said to this person that this is an experienced coach who has won so many trophies as a player, has won it as a coach, and coming to a team like Everton, there must be something, you know, that the board has promised him, which we are seeing the manifestation of that now. Now, after saying that, experience is something you cannot buy in the market. You know, whether you will like it or not, you can have 200 million, you spend it like Chelsea did, you will not have the experience. When this guy came to Everton, he identified positions that I feel the positions were weak for him. And he critically analyzed that team and look at it. How am I going to improve this team come next season? He worked with them. And if you look at it, if like Adelane said, if you look at Kevin Louis, if he was able to score the number of goals that he scored last season with the midfield that they had last season, how much more if you just make adjustment to that midfield and bring in experienced players who are going to be supplying him with the passes. We are also seeing that happening right now. So if we look at Everton now, I saw the League Cup that they played during the week. Trust me, you need to look at the bench of Everton. You'll be amazed how good these guys are. If anybody who is doubting these guys finishing in the top 3 or maybe in the top 2 or 3, I don't think that person is being realistic. Because if you look at Bernard is on the bench, Iwobi is on the bench, Sigurdsson is on the bench. You look at these guys, these are names, these are players who are playing for Everton. And you saw what it did during the week. So Ancelotti is a coach who have been around. Like Adelane said, he played with James Rodriguez. He knows the guy's capabilities, and he understands that with his strength coming to the Everton rather, coming to the Everton with Dakore, Dakore is another player. Then he identified one player. That he brought from Napoli. Now with the player that he brought from Napoli, this guy says something profound that a lot of players don't brag about things like this. He said his own achievement is making sure that he wins a lot of tackles as much as possible in the midfield. How many times do you see players bragging about something like that? He just wants to make sure that his contribution to the team is going to be felt by everyone they come across. And so far, we're seeing this team doing it. So we're seeing a shift of mindset from everyone who said, oh, it's going to be, Arsenal, Chelsea, Manchester United, Liverpool, Man City, and all that. It's not that anymore. Now, this guy has made key signing, and he was very strategic about the signing. And we're seeing the results right now.
And it's true. If we want to look at how they play, first time in quite a long time, they have more possession, more number of passes. They outpassed Crystal Palace. Their pass accuracy is even much better because of introduction of Allen in that midfield. And everybody, it just comes to make me realize that everybody had looked down on Rodriguez, that this guy cannot perform in the Premier League. It's like how we see Gareth Bale. This guy cannot perform in the Premier League. Physical or this or that.
I was just going to mention that Ancelotti's worked with him also at Bayern Munich. So they go way back. Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, and he believes in this guy, It seems like a rejuvenated James Rodriguez, really.
True.
In the game yesterday, you saw how sharp he was, It seems like his attitude even has changed since he was at Real Madrid and Bayern Munich.
If you look at the pass, John, leading to the second goal that they scored against Crystal Palace, you will see the James that we saw in 2014 World Cup. The guy who represented his national team very well. So, like Adelane said, he's enjoying himself right now because you have a coach who have so much trust in him and say to him that go out there and enjoy yourself and, play your football. No one is judging you. No one is, there's not too much hype. I mean, how many times do you see in the newspapers that the English press is talking about James Rodriguez? No, they're talking about the Rashford and all that. They don't play very well, but him right now, he is under somebody who trusted him so much. And for that, the guy is showing himself.
Yeah, but could we say that it's probably a bit too soon to keep putting so much praise on him, only knowing that it's just 3 games in 38 matches?
You start. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. I just want to say that sometimes from the beginning of the season, you can already see the teams that are going to be dangerous.
Yeah.
True. True.
Like your Leeds United, for example. I
Oh,
still
Yeah.
feel they're going to upset a big team
those
this season.
guys. Those
True.
guys are not playing, eh?
True.
They're
They have
fit.
6 points from 3 matches.
Imagine. And they lose
Leeds United.
much
Yeah.
by a slim chance. So yeah, what Adelani is saying is actually spot on.
Yeah.
They continue.
Yes. When Chelsea played against West Brom, somebody was saying to me that this is too sudden for you to start complaining about Chelsea, and you have to start counting the teams that want to escape relegation. This is that time. They start counting every point now. Start accumulating points. What the 1, 3. There they start going, and then like Adelani said, you will know a team that is going to do very well when the match is started. Now, the first 3 matches that these guys played, look at the game against Crystal Palace. It wasn't an easy game for them.
True.
But they managed the results there. The game against Tottenham, that was one of the most difficult games they played so far. They managed a result there. 1-0, they got a 1-0 there. And, so if you look at this team right now, the team is well structured in the sense that there's so much depth in that team at the moment. And then they have a coach. Who is the coach? He's a winner. Somebody has won a lot of trophies. What it entails to win a league. You know how to maintain that momentum for him to become champion at the end of the day. So I will not be surprised if tomorrow Everton would do a Leicester City. I will not be surprised because they are well prepared, well organized. So I am not going to be surprised.
So if we're looking at it,
Liverpool fans should be very worried.
Yeah, they should be. They should be.
They have a noisy neighbor now. They have a
Yes.
Yeah.
I could tell you right now that a team like Fulham is going to be relegated this season.
I agree with you.
I would put my money on West Brom because someone posted a tweet yesterday while they were leading 3 goals against Chelsea.
Yeah.
If West Brom failed to get 3 points, that he's going to put a wager on West Brom to lose. Because they did the same thing in their first game, they lost. They did the same in their second game, they also lost. And now they're doing the same. They just did the same thing against Chelsea.
Was that halftime score? Was it not a surprise to you as a person?
It was a
that
shock.
They were leading Chelsea.
So
you will not blame them. Chelsea. Everyone expected Chelsea to go there and get 3 points. For the fact that those guys scored 3 goals against Chelsea and were able to get a draw. To me, I give it to them. In as much as I want to say that it is too early for us to judge. Yes, the performances of this team so far has not been convincing. The first match, they lead, they lost against Everton.
Okay, if we now take a reverse, the top 4, the traditional top 4, we have Arsenal. Never Arsenal. We have the Manchester and we have the Arsenal, then Chelsea.
Yeah.
For a reason or the other, these 3 clubs have not been performing very well in the last few seasons. But I think Arsenal has found that formula. Adelade, our inside man. You have the ears, the eyes, and the heart in Arsenal. What is different in the Arsenal camp compared to Chelsea and Manchester United?
Well, Pep Guardiola said a lot about Mikel Arteta. Like when Mikel Arteta was the right-hand man to Pep Guardiola, like very few people knew the impact it was having on Manchester City's tactics. And I think simply what he did with the team was change the formation, of the team. They're playing the 3 at the back, 4 in the midfield, and the 3 attackers. It seems to be working like a charm, He changed the formation, he changed the defensive shape of the team because a player like David Luiz performs better with a 3 at the back than having like 4 defenders, a 4-4-2. So it was just about a formation change. A certain Aubameyang signing a new
Here we
contract
go. Here we
was
go.
definitely critical to the team, and definitely has the team believing in themselves more. I could see already that the guys really believe that they could beat any big side. The signing of Gabriel, that defender has made such a big difference since he's been signed. And even in the goalkeeping department, unfortunately, we lost Martinez, but we've had some big performances from the goalkeepers. But I would just advise every Arsenal fan not to get too carried away with how the team is playing, because Arsenal over the years they've been known to down tools at
Okay.
critical points. So I've been very impressed with Arteta's managerial skills, but he still needs to prove to us that it is not the same Arsenal anymore that would lead the Premier League for 4 months and still go to Anfield and lose 6-1. So it is to show us that the team has evolved since the Wenger era.
I was going to throw something to Akura. Adelani said something. Arteta's introduction to Arsenal saw a lot of man management problems. Do you think that Chelsea, for the last 5 years, I know Chelsea has always recorded success, whether they are happy or they are not happy. But do you think over the last 4, 5, 6 years that Chelsea have been having a lot of man management problems revolving in their club, and it eventually affects the performance of the team?
Yes, we've seen that. We've seen that with Antonio Conte and Diego Costa for one. He was such a player that a lot of Chelsea fans wanted him to stay. We all saw what he brought to the club, and the Premier League. He was a fighter. Those are the kind of characters that we want to see in any team in the world, that will give you trophies, that will guarantee you that every season you will be competing. And we saw that. We also saw with Jose Mourinho when he came back again in Chelsea that he grappled with so many things. Man management was part of it, and he also said himself that he regretted some of the things that he did. He almost took Chelsea to relegation because of the relationship, the strained relationship that he had with the players. So we have that in the past 5 years, and that is what has affected Chelsea. And now we have a coach, a legend of the club, somebody who was part of the people who made Jose Mourinho left Chelsea in his first season, his first term rather, in Chelsea as a coach. Coming in and understanding that these are the things that these are the little mistakes that one needs to rectify as a person for you to be able to keep your team together and make them happy. Now, you are humiliating a goalkeeper that Chelsea bought for 70 million plus, simply because the keeper is making a mistake. No one is immune to mistakes, right? If you look at David De Gea of Manchester United, he had made terrible mistakes.
True.
That sometimes everybody, a lot of fans will call that a coach should bench him, but a coach kept that trust in him, and he's still using him. And you can see that on his very good day, these people matured with experience, with time. As they play many games, that is the more experienced they become and more exposed they become to what they're doing. And now you have a coach who will just sanction players just because they make a little mistakes. So to answer your question, yes, that has affected Chelsea as a team right now. And just a quick one. Adelani should understand something, that this coach don't need to prove any other thing to any Arsenal fan. He has done it. He has won 2 trophies in his first season as a coach.
Yes.
And if you analyze the Arsenal team, one thing I like about the Arsenal team is that this is what we used to have at Chelsea. We used to have Mike Essien as the captain of Ghana.
Yeah.
We have Michael Ballack captain of Germany. We have Mustafa, who was also a leader. You know, we had a lot of leaders in that team, and now we have Aubameyang is a leader. We have William, who is a leader. Whether you like it or not, David Lewis, he knows how to keep people together. So sometimes it's not about how well you perform on the pitch, but it's how well you organize a team behind that we as fans don't see. You know, so if you don't have that stability in your team, trust me, what is happening at Chelsea right now will happen to you. What is happening at Fulham right now will happen to you. And to go when we had Ferguson was not. It wasn't because he was somebody who was very good at signing players. Not that, because he signed terrible players. Trust me, the likes of Veron, the likes of Jemba, Kleberson. We had those players who came to Manchester United that were not good. But what happened in Manchester United? They had leaders, a team full of leaders that a useless player goes in there and become a champion.
True.
So that right now we don't have that at Chelsea. We don't.
Okay, Chelsea has spent over 200.
Yeah.
Mendes is there. They have 3 goalkeepers now, 3 professional goalkeepers. They have 4 world-class playmakers. They have strikers. They have a defender in the leader of Thiago Silva. Chelsea has recruited quite a lot of players, but they have not hit the ground running. And we have seen this before from Chelsea years ago under AVB. There was a lot of player that was bought. He brought a lot of changes. He made a lot of dynamic changes, but he could not live up to the pressure. He spent quite a lot of money that same season. And we saw that 6 months later, he got fired. Now it feels like the pressure is growing on Lampard. It's not yet materialized itself, but it is really growing. Do you think that all Chelsea needs right now is time to gel, or they need an experienced manager to take them to that next level?
Listen, when you talk about the guy brought a lot of, that guy was not doing anything in Chelsea. MVP, I'd say. Ashley Cole told him where every player was that the ideas you're bringing, this is Chelsea, your ideas are not going to work in Chelsea, right? Because of the decisions that he was making. That was the problem. We went to Napoli, we lost that game 3-1. That was when he got fired. The players stood up and said, no, we have to take our Chelsea back. They were able to go ahead and win the Champions League. Now, when you're talking, that is lack of experience from the coach's side. Because if you go to any team that you inherit a team, first understand the culture of that team.
Okay.
What is the system that this team is used to? What style of football are they playing? The formation wise, check all these things, and then as a coach, you'll be able to thrive. Now, when he made that terrible mistake, I say this, I don't know if I said it to you. When Jose Mourinho took over Chelsea from Ranieri, Jose Mourinho bought players. Not that he did not buy players who were not good.
Yeah.
He bought the likes of Kazma came to Chelsea. Those guys, they struggled. They could not do anything. But for the mere fact that Mourinho had a solid team, his solid team, any other player was just an addition to the team. He was able to thrive with these players I had. When Ancelotti came, Ancelotti inherited quality in that team. If you remember the team that Avram Grant took to the Champions League final in 2008, when he took that team to the final, it was the same team built by Jose Mourinho. Those guys were very good, determined, Now, coming to the coach that we have right now, and I want every football lover out there to look at this.
Yeah.
What kind of players is he spending 200 million on? Who are the players? Last season, Chelsea conceded 54 goals. The worst in that league. Even the team that was relegated were dragging with Chelsea when it comes to conceding of goals. Now, if you are a coach of a team, and you look at that team, you analyze the entire team. Strikers are now a problem.
True.
Everton coach look at his team and look at the strikers. If this young boy, Calvin Lewin, will be given opportunity and the Richard Lindsay, these guys will do very well in Everton. What do they need? They need a strong midfield to mark for them. If you come to Chelsea as Lampard, being a legend of that club, understanding Chelsea very well, what would have been his signing? If you spend the money you spend on Havertz on Koulibaly, tell me, would I be wrong? It won't, because the guy is still young and he's very good. If you sign him, if you table 70 million, Napoli is willing to sell. He's 29 years old. But instead, you spend that money on a player whose physicality is in question right now in the Premier League. Because the Premier League is a league that you don't have such players to go. You can take them to Spain to go and play. Take them to German League. Yes, they will go there and play. Look at all Lampard signing. All the signings. You signed a very young and agile player. You took him out on loan. Why? Who is he going on loan for? For a 36-year-old who cannot even keep up with Premier League. You know, so if you look at, trust me, Lampard wasted 200 million this season. He wasted 200 million. Everton did not spend. Harvard's money is the money they bought Dakore, they bought Rodriguez, they bought Alan, also what is his name? They bought 3 players who were not even up to maybe 70 million. But we used up to 90 million to sign one player who cannot even compete in the English Premier League. You know, so I'm very sad when it comes to Chelsea right now, because the person who's in charge is somebody who understands Chelsea and the culture of the football of Chelsea. You know, so to me right now, there is nothing in his signing that I'm proud of. People are talking about Timo Werner. When was the last time Chelsea signed a striker like that? We had the likes of Diego Costa. We had the likes of Aneka, Didier Drogba. The likes of Case, the likes of even Crespo come to Chelsea and could not thrive. The Heisenberg. If we have the likes of Crespo comes to Chelsea, Shevchenko come to Chelsea and could not play, you are going to buy a player who cannot even stand. When the likes of, if we have the likes of Van Dijk stand in front of him, he will not even be able to play anything. You know, so as a coach, first thing you identify the person them. Our defense was weak last season. We don't have defenders. You can't rely on Zuma, Tomori, and you know who are Rudiger is not playing anymore. Who are the players you're going to rely on? Don't tell me.
And it has to be said, Christensen has been the Chelsea's Lindelof. Like,
let me give you another very good point. When you look at the Arsenal team, they're invincible. If you look at that team, the strength of that team, you cannot even begin to explain it. I watched Henry when he was analyzing and giving the reason why Arsenal is where they are today was because Arsene Wenger get rid of the invincible team, the unbeaten team, and he did not replace them. If you look at Manchester United, they are struggling today. Why? Because when you have the likes of Vidic who can put their head, hit the boot, kick them, they will put their head there. We have the likes of Carvalho, John Terry in Chelsea, William Gallas. These were players who were playing with everything in them. If you go to Tottenham there, they had the likes of Ledley Kings. Those guys were there. You know, every team built their team when it comes to the maturity of the defenders, the midfielders, and then the attackers. But we have none of that at Chelsea right now.
And speaking of building, Adelani, do you think that now currently they have the right squad depth? And if not, what are those possible transfers? And please, don't dare say my Thomas Partey. We will fight. Don't even talk about Thomas Partey. Because Partey does not know himself. He's a Man U player. Anytime he's wearing a Man U jersey. So, what? If we talk about Chelsea, Arsenal's transfer, do you think Arsenal has the right squad depth to go and play the whole Premier League season and perform really well? Or do you think they need some little additions to the squad?
Of course, they need some little additions to the squad. I feel like it's a long season. There are a lot of games across a shorter span of time. And I feel like you need a proper bench, you know. For me, I
Yeah.
would take a player like Wilfred Zaha that has experience in the Premier League, and like
True. I agree.
he's not Cristiano Ronaldo,
Yeah.
but he troubles defenders. He forces defenders to make mistakes, and I feel like Manchester City should be the model for every team, because in every department they have at least two
Three.
world-class players
Yeah,
or
true.
three in
I agree.
every position.
Mm.
You don't have to go out and spend so much money on bringing these players
Mm.
in. It's just the negotiating team of your club. How effective are they? Because a Crystal
Yes.
Palace now, if we give them some money and a player like Rhys Nelson for Zaha, we might just get lucky. And players like Lacazette, even though they're scoring, they're playing because they don't want to get sold, and they're playing for a new contract. Those kind of players still need to be on the bench for Arsenal, because Aubameyang should be playing up front, and we should get proper wingers. Even though Aubameyang is getting used to the wing role, I would love to see him up front. I would love to see us have a backup like Lacazette, that when those European games come, FA Cup games come, he could be in there, you know. But I think Arsenal's not so far off. We have some prolific youngsters, the likes of
Mm.
Martinelli, the likes of Saka. We just need maybe three more world class players, and just to get rid of some of the dead wood at the club. The player like Ozil. You know how I feel. I think
You must, you must actually tell us what is actually wrong. What is going on with Ozil?
He's taking money without playing.
Yes, and I heard like there's some disputes with the board. They want him to leave the club because the playing style no longer suits him. But whoever also negotiated his contract, must definitely face a court of law
The person
somewhere.
probably has already been sacked.
Yes, yeah, because he's collecting £350,000 a week, and he's not even making the match day squad. It is sad because if those wages are freed up, we'll be able to get the likes of our and other targets we have
Oh
from
yes.
Ghana. So
Oh, you're smart.
um,
You're smart.
so the thing is, if we could get Ozil to free up those wages, we'll be able to bring one or two signings in. I still feel it was a mistake letting the goalkeeper Martinez go, because he was just amazing. We still needed Martinez. So I feel like Arsenal, just to go back to your question and to answer it once and for all, we're just three signings away from having a squad that can challenge, I believe.
I agree.
And
I agree.
there's always one thing when it comes to Arsenal. They are 2 injuries away from joining the old regular Arsenal season. An injury.
No, we have a major injury at the moment with Martinelli, but
Major.
the squad's, yes, he's been injured for a long time. He's only coming back in the new year.
Yeah, but we can't really term
but
his injury major, like for the team. We can say
it is
major injury,
major. But what is impressing me is when Martinelli is injured, the squad doesn't seem to miss him. When Shaka is injured, the squad doesn't seem to miss him. When
Ozil.
David Luiz is injured, Ozil, the squad doesn't. I mean, we won 2 trophies without Ozil.
Oh, true.
That's just to show you that finally we found a system that works. I think the true test will be if Aubameyang should get injured for 5 months. Then
You will
that will
feel
be
it.
the true test.
Yes.
That will be
Yeah.
the true test. Can players like Lacazette step up, you know, and fill that role? Because Aubameyang doesn't always need to score. Just his mere presence on that field drives
Will
fear
be
in
a
the
factor.
hearts of the defenders. So, Arsenal now have, especially the right side of midfield. When Willian isn't playing, we have Pepe. You know,
Mm.
so I think we just need a new right back. Then we have players like Maitland Niles that can play in 4 different positions. You can put him at right back, you could put him on the wing, you could put him in midfield, you could put him at left back, So when you have those kind of utility players, then, your squad depth, it helps your squad depth.
I want to get a neutral answer to this. Arsenal Liverpool tomorrow. Yes, we all know that Liverpool is almost unstoppable, and a lot of us hate them so much, wishing they all get injured, which probably would never happen. Do you think we might get an upset?
When you talk about upset, what are you talking about? Are you trying to are you trying to underrate us now? What? Look,
Oh,
we've been
wow.
analyzing
Okay.
we've been analyzing the strength of this team right now, right? Um Arsenal is not a team right now that you just write off like that. It's not a team. It's a team that have so much character right now, and the players are motivated. I don't know if it's because of the coaches, because of the signings that are coming in, but because I believe every big player, and one of the reasons why Aubameyang also committed his future to Arsenal is because Arsenal promised to make good signings. And they've done so far, having the likes of David Lewis coming, William coming, Gabriel coming, and like Adelani said, they need like 3 or 2 play signings away for them to be okay. I totally agree with that. With the shape of the team right now, sometimes it's not about how prolific these players are. Sometimes it's just about the mentality. You can have players who have a winning mentality and they will give you trophies, like what we saw Leicester City did in the Premier League, which I doubt if any team is going to do that anytime soon. But we saw that in these guys that they were playing with so much determination. They were playing with so much zeal to win matches. And you can see that in the Arsenal team. They believe in themselves right now. They're enjoying their football and they believe they can beat any team. We saw Liverpool against the Leeds United in the first match. Let's look at that. Let's analyze that match. If you look at the goals that they conceded, most of the fault came from the best defender that everybody is talking about right now, Van Dijk. He made silly mistakes that everybody, even the Carragher and everybody were not happy about it. So if you have an Arsenal side that have a striker who can hurt any team, if you give him if you make one stupid mistake, he will kill you for it. In the person of Aubameyang, Lacazette is there, William is there. He has played against these teams, So if you look at the Arsenal match and Liverpool tomorrow, you don't need to underrate Arsenal. If you look at the Crystal Palace team, that beat Manchester United, know that you can't name the players and you can't pay the players. If you look at the players in terms of name, money and all that, the Manchester United is ahead of them. But if you look at the determination that those guys went into that game with, the mindset, the mentality of the players was that they were going at Old Trafford to get a result. And they got that. And I'm saying that is what we're seeing in the Arsenal side right now. So you can have the Mane, you can have the Ronaldo, the Messi in that team. But if the Arsenal side say we're going here to get a result, and they play together as a team, I don't see why they can't get a positive result.
What are your reservations, Adelani, with regards to the Liverpool attack?
Well, I think, like you rightfully said, Liverpool have a formidable trio, and this new signing Thiago coming in. I think my major fear would be the communication at the back for Arsenal, because we know Gabriel doesn't speak, a word of English. Well, maybe he's learned one or two things on the training ground now. But Leno is German, Gabriel's Brazilian. We would need a player like David Luiz in that game, and provided the team don't put David Luiz in any situation that he needs to run fast against someone like Mane or Salah, um, leave him vulnerable using his pace, then I think we'll be fine. I think positionally, if we can position ourselves like in the right way, the team get the right shape and they stay disciplined, nobody bombs forward and leaves the team exposed. I think Arsenal now know how to play against the big teams, if I'm totally honest. Against Man City, against Liverpool, against even Chelsea in the final, I was really impressed with how we set up. And I'm also happy with Aubameyang now, stepping up in the big games. I think also concentration on David Luiz's part, it tends to lose concentration.
Yeah.
And if you lose concentration against a player like Mane, you know that you would have to pick the ball from the net.
Absolutely. So on a final note, I'll take predictions from since Leicester City seems to be blowing Man City.
I'm telling you, they're doing it.
It's 3-1 already. It seems Man City would record their first loss of the season. But for Liverpool, Arsenal, just the prediction. Adelani, what are you looking at?
We're supposed to be collecting our annual spanking at Anfield, but it's working to our advantage that the Anfield is going to be empty. The fans are not going to be present, so I think that will work in Arsenal's favor. And I'm going to predict a 2-2 draw because Liverpool is definitely going to score.
This guy just took what was on my mind. That's what I was going to say.
So it means the both of you are predicting a Ashavian redemption for Arsenal.
Yeah, score draw, 2-2.
Okay. I'm going to stick to a 4-0 trash. I think Arsenal is top call. And I'm going to come out very clean and say I'm a little bit biased, and everybody that knows me will know I have a little thing against
what Arsenal to beat Liverpool 4-0.
Never. What?
Oh.
Jenny Kweta, can I shock you?
What?
Mark my word today. If a win is coming, it's coming from the away team.
Oh wow. Okay.
So it's going to be a win draw for the away team.
Okay. I would.
Yes, sir.
I agree. Arteta totally seems to know what to do with the club team. I agree.
If you look at the Liverpool side, they are always confused when they're playing against kids that can run 9 for 90 minutes.
Okay.
What you saw against Leeds United was just a clear example of that. And if other teams can be able to, analyze that game, they will get Liverpool anytime.
Thank you to the special ones in the house, Adelani Ogurade, to Emmanuel Akurada. I'm very, very grateful to have the both of you on the show.
Thank you, sir.
To do more, do better, maybe shorter, but much more juicier. Thank you, guys. And
Thank you.
this time, it's the perspective. Thank you very much.